This is impossible light that's reaching underneath a covered walkway. Pay attention to the pattern of conduct of stalking with light. Also, it's impossible because the sun is over Economy Inn on Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. There's no sun that's going to be over the property, let alone reaching underneath the covered space. Thank you so much. Excellent job, sir. You have a good one.
I did lock it for you.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is P.O.C. I want you to pay attention to this shadow that's appearing right here, and then here's the concentrated shadow. But this is a shadow as well. This is impossible light activity. This is engineered light that covers the ground. You know this. You are familiar. That's also light activity. But this third-party group stalker just towed my vehicle back after the entity broke into it, and so it's been out of my possession and suffering damages, being dispossessed with my vehicle, the entity having custody of my vehicle, having to pay out of pocket for harm where the entity that is monitoring me damaging my personal property, which is a pattern of conduct. The entity is going to pay for that. That's going to be addressed. But I want to be clear, while he is towing my vehicle, and yes, he did an excellent job, I want to be clear, this is the entity that is monitoring, and he is monitoring right now. It's facilitating light activity. Everything that's occurring, even superficially to the benefit of the target individual, is serving to threaten your life and monitor you. He's monitoring. It's crossing path in the engineer light activity with the tow truck. Okay, and arriving at the facilitating venue, there is no legal excuse from engaging in the state's pattern of conduct, and it's built into what is supposedly the everyday occurrences at the venue, which you're not supposed to be aware that it's a venue. But I want to be clear, where the entity is maintaining a light source literally over my head in this same manner in Ontario, California, at Economy Inn, 2301 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California. It is impossible that there would be any light source at any time of day over Alvarado Gardens, and that's how you know what the people of the state are doing with minor children, stalking in the path with them, engaging in the sex offense and terrorism in concert with them, doing so group stalking in helicopters while they are group stalking just like this. And I want to be clear, this is speaking to what is state terrorism, sponsored by corrupt law enforcement agencies like the LAPD, and the LAPD are they're engaging in what is demonic in concert with the people. I want to be clear, this is a minion. This is a minion, and I want to be clear, her presence in the environment is serving for what is a criminal system while she's walking her dog in engineer light under the light source. This entire environment is here for that criminal purpose. It's not an accident. I'm actually exposing to you what the entity is doing in the state of California, and it is entirely malicious, highly demented, and very criminal. Okay, so this is speaking to what's impossible light. There's no sunlight also that's going to reach underneath the covered structure. Where the sun is above us, it's not adjacent to a three-story building. Sunlight is also not shooting into windows like a laser while it is at that position above us in the sky, shooting downwards and then shooting at an angle through closed blinds, through holes, and shooting, appearing on the wall, let alone being magnified or creating multiple shadows, appearing on the ceilings, etc., etc. That's the pattern of conduct of engineered light, just like the same engineered light that creates multiple shadows that you just witnessed right now. In addition to what is capturing the impossible, the demonic, the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring is the presence of engineered light in the shade. Sunlight is not bouncing off of windows and creating the shape of that object that it's hitting, creating what is, again, the objective is for what is automatic light activity. This is how you get double shadows. But again, this is not happening even when you entertain the illusion that this is the sun, because the sun is not at the same time remaining over 2301 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, where the entity kept that light source over me as I stayed at that venue for a prolonged period of time. At no point would it ever reach the state of Florida, and at no point did it ever leave the property of Economy Inn at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, and that's a matter of published documentation as well. This is capturing the phenomenon where the entity is group stalking where they live, around the target individual where they work, around the target individual where they come and provide any service or maintain any presence in relevant position around the target individual, threatening the life, the overall well-being, and physical safety of the targeted individual. This would never occur under any circumstances because it's engineered light, but also because the light source itself is captured as a matter of documentation, which is why you capture the demonic. That is a criminal system practiced by a government because it defies what you can fathom in your mind. And it is literally, it's unfortunate that a government is practicing this, but it's literally beyond overdue that it's been exposed, and this is capturing literally the impossible. All right, and that's speaking to what is proven beyond a reasonable doubt, by the way. That's how that legally translates. The entity is engaging in this on an ongoing basis where the Los Angeles Police Department is, while I'm inside of my private space and I'm subject to what is ceaseless surveillance, while they're aiming engineered light through what are closed blinds while the sun is, as a matter of documentation, over Economy Inn, literally room 227, as I captured it on video, and in zenith at that time, over and remaining, it never left. It's set in that parking that the sun would rise, just like you see here. rising in alignment to my apartment, setting in alignment to this property, aiming engineer light, and covering the grounds. The entity is at 2301 South Euclid Avenue, where I remained in that hotel room for a prolonged period. Documentation establishing the entity was rising a light source over the pool that is rising it on one side of my person, keeping it over the top of my head, that is right over my hotel room, right over wherever I went in the parking lot. That's how I captured. I step out and I would capture it, and then setting it in alignment at that same exact property. That is not the sun. And again, the state of Florida, the state of Texas, the state of Louisiana, the state of Nevada will never have the sun in their sky space while the entity is engaging in what is the literally the unpersuasive and unnatural, impossible maintenance of an environment that's serving a criminal system. That's why you do that, and because everybody around is doing it with them. I want to be clear, everything that the people of the state are doing is serving for amplification. This is a demon that walks out as I start making steps. All right, looking to the left and the right and engineer light under the light source is unpersuasive. This is a group stalker, and that is the behavioral pattern. Okay, they engage in stalking with noise with simultaneity to what I do. They also engage in what is maintaining presence in the path with some form of light. Also maintaining, let me be clear, not having to create any form of light, but merely walking by and crossing paths where the entity covers the ground with engineered light. That's accomplishing the pattern of conduct by the people of the state. That same demonic behavioral pattern makes them sex offenders, all right, of a nature to a degree that federal law has yet to contemplate. I just want to make sure that you're capturing all this. This is engineered light. This is how you know that this is a demon. This is how you know that they're a group stalker. Light manifesting in the shade. Sun is not bouncing off of objects and creating its light and its shape, where it's also creating a shadow in and of it. That's engineered light. Okay, and not only is this a group stalker and a sex offender, doesn't even have authority to be on the property. Okay, so I just want to be clear. It is currently 2:53 p.m. This is P.O.C. at Alvarado Gardens. My building is 1806. The entity this morning in alignment, which you saw at as early as 6:30 in the morning, my same apartment rising in alignment to my window, aiming engineer light, and it is again 2:53 p.m. the same property. This is the same building where I'm at, my bedroom, the opposite side of the same. That's not the sun, and that's not the behavior of sunlight, and it is an impossibility. That is the prosecution of all of the people of the state. But I want to be clear, Los Angeles is a facilitating venue. The state of California is the facilitating venue. The entity is engaging in conduct suggesting that the sun does not ever leave a single property. If I were to leave this address and go to another, the entity will maintain the light source over my head wherever it is that I go, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And when the entity is engaging in that which is supposed to appear as a cloudy day, the people of the state, the demon-possessed, are maintaining and acting in concert together with their ongoing dynamic group knowledge of what I do as I do it, wherever it is I do it, maintaining that specific environment together. All right, that's the passive aggressive group stalker, the psychopath. And it's not a coincidence, it's the demonic behavioral pattern. And they're doing it in concert with the corrupt law enforcement agencies, the LAPD. And that's why the LAPD is engaging in what is presence in the phenomenon, which is irreconcilable with what the Ontario Police Department were doing in what was a phenomenon. All right, so those minions are captured in evidence, which you're going to use against both of them. It's one entity, but you're going to use the evidence against them, against it, because they're one entity, in order to capture what is the criminal system that the entity, that these minions, the demon-possessed, these corrupt law enforcement agencies in concert with the people of the state are engaging in. I believe this is a minion from 1806, number 4. This is criminal facilitation. This is light activity while this minion is walking in engineered light with a dog as well. And this is the ordinary course of monitoring, just casually capable of doing so. And this is an entirely demonic environment, and there's nothing normal about it. All right, it is currently, by the way, 2:54 p.m. and this is P.O.C. Impossible light, P.O.C.